Hey everybody, how's it going? Thank you again so much for being here with me today for another great lesson from Big Wave Guitar. I'm your humble host, Dan the Guitar Man. Today we're going to be looking at the sugary sweet little pop song that is Watermelon Sugar by Harry Styles. It's a very simple, relatively easy song to pick up, and it's perfect time, summertime right now. So before we jump into the lesson, if you could please be so kind as to like this video and subscribe to the channel, I would greatly appreciate it. That way you stay up to date on all the good lessons, the guitar tips, and general guitar knowledge that we share here. Really appreciate that. Either way, thank you again so much for being here, and let's get to the lesson. So the strum pattern is probably the trickiest part of this if you're just kind of starting out, because it's got a little jazz, a little syncopation in there mixed with some mute strums, which may or may not be challenging for you. But to kind of break it down to its simplest elements, for each chord, we're going to do this pattern twice. Right? So I'm strumming down once while holding the chord, and then I'm just muting the strings by letting my hands touch them so that they don't make any particular notes. Right? I'm just muting them, and then I'm adding in one more accent hit. So down, down, up, down, up. Then switch chords. So again, that's like a stripped down, bare bones version of it. If you're more familiar and more developed with your strumming patterns, feel free to get a little funky there, add in whatever kind of little accents or flavors you'd like to. But if you're just starting out, that's a really kind of simple, easier way to build it up. So the first chord we're going to need to play this song is D minor 7. And the way they play it over the verse is with a bar chord. So what that entails is barring your entire first finger over that 5th fret, right? And then also taking your middle finger and putting it on the 6th fret of the B string, and then your ring finger, and putting that on the 7th fret of the D string. So when you take that bar, the 6 and the 7, you get this. Now in the chorus, they kind of open things up a little bit more, and they use a different chord voicing, right? So it's the same chord exactly. It's still a D minor 7, but we're going to play it like this. You're going to take your first finger and bar the first 2 frets of the B and E strings, and then you're going to take your middle finger and get that 2nd fret of the G string, and then we're just going to strum the bottom 5 strings, right? So I'm going to use my thumb to mute the low E. The second chord of this song is going to be A minor 7. So just like with D minor 7, we're going to have that 5th fret barred with our first finger. So we're going to cover every string with our first finger, and then very simply we're just going to add our ring finger to the 7th fret of the A, and that's it. Every other string is going to be fretted by your first finger. Right? And then again, in the chorus, they use a different chord voicing. We're going to use the A minor 7 down here, so that's the 1st fret of the B string, and then the 2nd fret of the D string. Everything else is open except for that low E string, which I'm going to mute with my thumb. The next chord we're going to need is our old friend C major. Again, the bar chord version of it is kind of nice in the verse because it keeps it a little quieter. You don't have any open strings ringing. And the way we're going to do that is by having our first finger on the 3rd fret of the A string. And then up to you, I've always preferred to use my pinky, but if your ring finger feels comfortable, totally use that. It's your call. It's just the strings that are important. We're going to get the 5th fret of the B string, the G string, and the D string with either your 3rd or 4th finger, right? I like to use my pinky, so that's the way I'm going to show you. Try and get these guys out of the way. All right, there's our C major bar chord. To do the regular C major, as we know, it's first fret of B string, second fret of the D, and third fret of the A, with our thumb muting the low E. And this is the chord we'll use in the chorus. Last but not least, our old buddy G major is making an appearance. Again, for the verses, let's use the bar chord. It'll expand your knowledge. We're going to bar the entire third fret this time with our first finger. And then we're going to use our middle finger to get the fourth fret of the G string. Our ring finger is going to come up and get the fifth fret of the A. And our pinky finger is going to come up and get the fifth fret of the D string, right? So when we put that all together, we've got our bar on 3. All of our other fingers are in place. There's our G major bar chord. Okay? For the chorus, when we want to make it bigger, a little bit more open, we're going to have our third fret on the second finger on the third fret of the low E, first finger on the second fret of the A, and our third finger on the third fret of the high E, and strumming all 6. Okay, so let's take a look at the verse. We're going to use the bar chord versions and just try to add in some of the little strumming so you can see how the chords kind of come together, right? So play it a little bit normal speed and then we'll do it super slow, okay? Super slow. So now let's take a look at the chorus and the open chord voicings that we're going to use for this. The only trick is that you're going to have to, because we have so many open strings at play, like with this D minor 7, right? We have this open D and A strings. You got to use a different finger to mute the strings so that we can get our mute strums in there, right? So that may be a little tricky for some of you, may not be for others, but either way, just know that that's what's going on with my mute strummings. I'm either pressing down to get the notes I want, or I'm just using another finger or two to mute the strings and get the percussive element I want. So let's do it a little normal speed, and then we'll do it super slow, okay? Super slow. So let's just put all that together once more. We'll do the verse with the bar chords, into the chorus with the open chord voicings. We'll do it at a regular and then again a slow speed. Okay, here we go. You got this. super slow. So there you go. You've got all the chords, the different voicings, the strum patterns that you're going to need to play Watermelon Sugar by Harry Styles. Really hope you all enjoy it. It's a perfect summertime song, even though there's not really any summertime right now, but it's besides the point. Still enjoy it. Thank you again so much for being here. Really do appreciate it. Again, please, if you could be so kind as to like and subscribe the video and the channel, I'd greatly appreciate it. And that's it. Thanks again, and see you again next time. Be good.